coming back to school with me. We could have done it all so easily.
Hi, my name is Craig Thompson-Wood. I'm the board game teacher. Thanks for coming to the classroom. Today we're taking a look at Whatzit by Waddington Sanders. Before I start my review of this game, what I want to be clear on is Whatzit it says it's a game of fractured phrases. Now, I think fractured phrases, maybe they were just saying that because it's a simpler way of trying to get around what they actually are, or maybe they just like the alliteration of the FF sounds, the fractured phrase. What they are actually is a Rebus puzzle. Rebus puzzles are puzzles where you have a box and there's words inside the box or letters or something, and they're in such a way, the orientation of the words or the size of the words or the positions or whatever, that it makes a common phrase or saying or expression. And a good Rebus puzzle will make you say, oh, when you get it. So take, for example, here, I have this one I'm going to put over my head right now, and you see na, and fish. Well, the obvious thing you would say is like na fish, but what is a na fish? That doesn't make any sense. Well, the fact is that there are two nas, so it's tuna fish. Oh. So now here's another one where you see the word travel, then a line and a bunch of C's underneath it. So the word travel is over top of the other letters, so it's travel overseas. Oh. Right, you get the picture. So that's a Rebus puzzle, and Rebus puzzles are there's hundreds and I don't even know, maybe thousands of them out there, but that is what these actually are, and this is what this game employs throughout is Rebus puzzles. So let me take you to the review. All right, I lied because I'm not actually getting to the report card right away. What I'm going to talk about first is the fact that this is a terrible game. As a game, it's terrible. As a teaching device and some things, it's pretty good. I like some things that are in here a lot, but as a game to sit down and play, I think it's awful. And you know, the game's from 1987, so it's really showing its age. It's a roll and move kind of game, nothing to it, but using the parts that are inside it are something that would be great. So look at the report card for Whatzit. I would give the number of players an A+. Now it says here that there are 6 pawns, so you can play for up to 6 players, or maybe on teams or whatever, but what I would just like, I'd be gutting this thing. I wouldn't be using the board, I wouldn't be using the pawns, I wouldn't be using dice or anything like that. I would just be using the cards that are inside it for the Rebus puzzles themselves. When you use the cards like that in that way, you can share it with a class instantly and make a fun contest out of it that way. Rather than trying to do it as, you know, one person or a team at a time trying to figure out these things, just do it as a class thing. I use Rebus puzzles actually quite a lot in my class, and I just do it when I have the time to do it. So, yeah, so for class settings, you can't beat a whole class at one time for one game. So for that reason, I give the game A+, but not as the game. For learning, I'm going to give the game a C+. I'm going to give it the C+ because the C is because it doesn't teach really anything curricular. There's no math, there's no language and things. I mean, there is a bit of language you have to read and things, but what it really sort of shines in is this whole idea of creative thinking, thinking outside the box, training our brain to see and to deduce and to just problem solve. It's not even problem solve, it's just you have to be creative thinkers and you have to really do, as I say, think outside the box, which is funny when you talk about a Rebus puzzle because the whole thing's inside the box. But you have to be a really creative thinker in order to solve these problems. And I think that we don't do enough of that in school. So to do something like this in a class once in a while with the kids, I think would be really good for them. And so for that reason, I give it the plus on the C+. For fun, I give the game a B+. I know that when I do this kind of thing with my students, they really enjoy it. They're always asking to do it again after we've done it. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, doing the puzzles, and you know, you have to be careful that you are selecting only puzzles that you think your students would be able to get. I know with my students, with the fact that they're young and the fact that they have less exposure to some of the English expressions than maybe other students would, I tailor the puzzles that I will choose for them to know that they're common enough expressions that they really should have heard of these expressions that I'm choosing. So, yeah, that's why I give it the B+. For time, I give the game an A+. Again, not the game, I give the idea of Rebus puzzles the A+. Because I can do Rebus puzzles. Sometimes if I'm looking and I have like 2-3 minutes before an end of a period, or if sometimes if we're getting ready for an assembly and we know that we're going to be called down any moment, it's the kind of thing you can do on the spot. I mean, instantly. You can pull up some cards, you can show it to the, you can show a card and just have the students start guessing at it and working it out and deducing. So it really takes no time to set up, it takes no time to strike, it takes as much time as you want to play it. So, it's really the ideal game in that way, but not the game. For cost, I'm going to give the game a question mark. I mean, Whatzit is a game that has been out since 1987. Like I said, it shows its age. And I looked on Walmart, I looked on different places. Like, there are some on Board Game Geek, but there's only like 6 copies. 5 are in United States, one's in England. So getting anything shipped to Canada here would be problematic. And if you're if you're a U.S. viewer, then hey, thanks for watching, and maybe check out to see on Board Game Geek on the geek market if there's somebody who lives close to you that would be willing to give up their copy. It's the kind of thing though I would look at Value Village or your local thrift stores for something like this, because it's not worth trying to chase down the game. And if you really want to, there's a lot of Rebus puzzles that you can print off online for free. So I would look to things like that rather than trying to hunt down a game which you don't want the game. The game's terrible. You just want the cards. Well, I'm not even going to show you how this game is played because it's a terrible game. For how you play, let me just show you one more Rebus puzzle. And I'll give you 10 seconds to see if you can figure it out. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. If you have any questions about Whatzit or Rebus puzzles or other types of puzzles, if you have suggestions for me about things that you do in the classroom in your last couple of minutes, or if you have a couple minutes here or there that you just to keep the students engaged, entertained, and still learning, then please let me know in the comment section below. I do love to hear about other ideas that teachers are having and employing in their classroom for things like this, which are educational fun, especially when they're sort of outside the box thinking. I love things like that. And if you have any other topics you might like me to talk about, any other questions or things that you feel you'd like to see on the channel, please leave me a message in the comment section below. Until next time, I'm Craig Thompson with the Board Game Teacher saying thanks for coming to the classroom.
Are you coming back to school?